All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, in a viral tweet, one Nigerian wrote an emotional open letter to Nigeria hours ago. He said for months, he kept reading about Nigeria from the UK and he couldn't find anything good about the country. So he traveled back to Nigeria for one final visit to see for himself, and he found out that the things on ground are even worse than how they were described. And on the day he was traveling back, which according to him was his permanent relocation from Nigeria to the UK, he dropped that emotional tweet talking about the evil of the political class and how it has sent him and many others away from a land that they loved so much. Go into the streets of this country, you will see how many great talents the country has destroyed. And all these menaces have become worse. They became worse in the last 18 months when TINUBU took over. Hundreds of thousands of children have had to drop out of school because parents can no longer afford to educate their children. And that is the future destroyed by TINUBU. Those are future criminals breeding. And few hours ago, 2 updates dropped that became the major talking points in the Nigerian political media space. 2 updates that further prove that TINUBU is after our lives in this country. First of all, TINUBU paid a Yoruba group to begin working on his already battered image in the southwest. The group began castigating OBASANJO to praise TINUBU in the southwest, but Yoruba youths began furiously attacking the useless group, saying that it was over for TINUBU in the southwest. And while at that, TINUBU hit the entire country with another devastating blow. Inflation is tearing the roof. There is widespread hunger and insecurity, but TINUBU has gone ahead through the NNPC to once again increase the price of petrol. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another huge gallop in inflation. Before I show you that altercation between Yorubas over TINUBU's failure and the recent announcement on petrol price by NNPC and TINUBU, let me quickly show you this video, one of the proofs that the Nigerian state has failed. Look at what government officials are doing in this video.
But this particular one, for those who saw it, it was online. And so the gentleman who was behind the scenes capturing this, just listen to this.
Trying to remove the number plate of a vehicle stylishly without the person even knowing. This is Nigeria VIO. VIO. Is it the work they ask them to be doing? VIO.
The people in front to make sure the driver doesn't move. The person engaging the person suspects that, well, 1 or 2 things might be amiss with the car, either documentation or something. So what they do, the person standing there is, the person behind removes the plate number for the vehicle. And so, we're saying this play because I've seen this happen right here.
Why is he doing
in the
that?
FCT.
Why is he removing the vehicle number?
So what they do is because if you're stubborn and they feel you don't want to comply with whatever they're asking of you, they will get the upper hand. So they remove the number plate there and then go away with it. They expect you to, whichever way, you will have to come back to them. So this is tantamount to stealing. This is, I don't know which other adjective to describe some of this. This is brigandage. This is a typology of banditry.
So you can't move. You have to come back.
Yeah, that's, you see those guys in front. They block you. They make sure they stay in front of you to distract you.
Okay.
So when they distract you, you won't be able to look at your rearview mirror to see what's going on behind you. And sometimes if your vehicle is going to move and the traffic light passes you, they just quickly snatch it while it's about to, because they already have their hands on it. So before you move, they quickly snatch it. And then you will be forced to either turn back or stop or go talk to them. And when that happens, you know that at the end of the day, you'll part with something which you may not be happy with. So
there has to be another way to
this
get
is
compliant.
the menace
There has to be other ways to get compliance. Does it have to look like this all the time?
So when in FCT, that court judgment came, if you know how people heaved the sigh of relief in terms of, oh, thank goodness, good riddance, whatever, to whatever. But this is unfortunate. And this, I tell you, still happens in different parts of this country. That's why you got this one. Yeah.
You saw that. That is one of the manifestations of a failed state. Law and order are being mostly abused by people who should be protecting them. And Prince Ajibade Isaac here says, how did this country become this menace? I mean, just look at those useless criminals. Those are people's fathers. What morals are these start teaching their kids? What? I am telling you, so painful to watch. And this tweet here by Lekki Massacre says, they once tried this thing with me. They didn't believe I would move the way I did. Useless VIO. Wow. And Dr. Ikechukwu here says, the one happening on Enugu Okigwe Road is worse. Those ones are rogues in uniform. That is it. Even police, this is what they do. They'll be talking to you. They'll go to the back and go and plant weed or drugs inside your car. Then they will now allow you to go. After moving for like 1 kilometer, another checkpoint will stop you and go and pick the weed and drugs and say you are a criminal. Just so that they can rip you off, so that they can collect money from you. This is what this country has become. And it has never been this bad. Everything began going south when the APC took over, and it became worse under the TINUBU regime. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us to still have a country in the near future, we must rise up and kick these guys out of power. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at those updates that have become the major talking points in the media. First of all, we'll be looking at the altercation between Yorubas and the Yoruba group, which tried to castigate Obasanjo to improve Tinubu's image in the southwest. And next, we'll be looking at the recent increase in the price of petrol by the NNPC and Tinubu. Let's start with the update on the Yoruba group. Look at how the papers reported it. Obasanjo's attack on Tinubu driven by envy, bitterness. Yoruba group. A group conscious of Yoruba nation has criticized former President Olusegun Obasanjo for his remarks that Bola Tinubu was not well prepared to govern the country. According to the group, which is affiliated with Afenifere, Obasanjo's comments were driven by hatred and bitterness, motivated by what it described as the intimidating success of Tinubu. Obasanjo recently said in an interview that a president entered office without a plan and makes pronouncements on issues he has not studied. In a statement issued by the group's convener, Kola Omololu, it argued that Tinubu was indeed prepared, citing his swift actions upon assuming office. Omololu said, Nigerians need to understand where General Olusegun Obasanjo is coming from. This is a man with the mother of all egos. He wants to be the only successful president from southern Nigeria. That is what he wants as his legacy. And to achieve that, he must undermine every other southerner who emerges, despite his best effort to stop them as president of Nigeria. It is for that reason that he undermined former President Goodluck Jonathan by lying that good man was maintaining a killer squad of former Abacha hitmen to target political enemies. Today, his poisonous darts have been aimed at Tinubu, who he feels has already outshined and out-achieved him in just 1 year. Nigerians should see it for what it is, sour grapes and envy. Nothing could be further from the truth. Tinubu had a plan and shared that plan with Nigerians before they convincingly elected him as their president, rejecting the candidate sponsored by General Obasanjo. Unlike any other president in this republic, including General Olusegun Obasanjo, Tinubu hit the ground running with his plan, implementing subsidy removal on day one and floating the naira within weeks. He also achieved local government autonomy through a Supreme Court victory on July 11, 2024, and introduced student loan 5 days later on July 17, 2024. It is not just that Tinubu had the courage to implement these plans where others, most notably the third term seeking Obasanjo, failed. the more significant point is that his reforms are working. This was the nonsense that that group wrote. Now, first of all, Obasanjo has no reason to be envious of Tinubu. This is a two-time president and one-time head of state, conducted an election, handed over to, a democratically elected president as a uniform man. Obasanjo did it first. So this particular man has no reason to be envious of Tinubu. Secondly, the candidate he sponsored did not lose the election. You people used your snatch and grab style to grab the power. Thirdly, the reforms of Tinubu are not working. The reforms have, as a matter of fact, brought Nigerians to their knees. The notion that Obasanjo wants to be the only Southerner that succeeded as president is false, because Obasanjo was the one who supported Jonathan to become president. And Obasanjo also supported the best candidate in the 2023 elections. So the man, to a very great extent, wants the good of this country more than anybody amongst his peers, including Tinubu. So this whole article is just nonsense. And the Yorubas were not convinced at all, because they came down heavily on this group and its convener in their reactions. Let's take some of them. Dr. Bankole A here says, faceless, useless Yoruba group springing up as usual to defend the monumental failure, T-Pain. Tinubu is the greatest tragedy that has happened to the Yoruba race. It will take a while to recover from the hateful brand of politics he brought into the last elections, especially in Lagos. This man has destroyed education and values and our Omoluabi ethos. He has institutionalized that bureaucracy and mediocrity. History will not be kind to him. His brand is corruption and nepotism. He has written his name in infamy. Chai! Pokwala O Hassan here says, that Yoruba group are insane. Waiting day Tinubu body where Obasanjo go envy. Drug baron, certificate forger, et al. I wonder. Akin Ogbeni here says, how does one envy another who will never attain one's accomplishments in 3 lifetimes? That is it. Tinubu can never attain Obasanjo's accomplishments. So why would Obasanjo envy him? And Olukoya Austin here says, fallacies. Hypocrites, illiterates won't accept the truth from Baba Obasanjo because of hate. Nigerians have every reason to criticize this current administration for its incompetent role in reviving the economy. And David Adeola here says, Obasanjo has a traceable history, biologically, academically. He has legit achievements, uncontestable career path, local and global public achievements, international respect even till now. So where is the envy and bitterness coming from? Very angry Bidemi here says, who are the effing stupid Yoruba group? They should come out or F off forever. Ogun kill them one by one. Bidemi is really angry here. And Olusegun says, envy, really? Comparing Tinubu with Obasanjo is an insult to the latter. That is it. Now, let us look at that update on the recent increase in the price of petrol. This one happened just 3 hours ago. About 2 weeks ago, Tinubu through NNPC increased the price of petrol to 1,030 naira per litre in Abuja and 998 naira per litre in Lagos. That is NNPC price. And immediately he did that, the private filling stations, who are the major suppliers of petrol, began selling at 1,200 naira per litre. So anytime NNPC increases their price, all those private filling stations will add like between 150 to 200 naira to their own prices. Now, Tinubu through the NNPC once again has increased the price of petrol. Look at how the papers reported it. Just in, Tinubu increases fuel price again. Now 1,025 naira in Lagos and 1,060 naira in Abuja. Amid economic hardship, Bola Tinubu administration through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has increased pump price of petroleum. This increment will see Nigerians in Lagos and Abuja buy petrol for 1,025 naira and 1,060 naira per litre respectively. In October, petrol prices stood at 1,030 naira in Abuja and 998 naira in Lagos in NNPCL filling stations, while other petrol stations sold for between 1,150 naira and 1,200 naira per litre. NNPCL petrol stations displayed the reviewed price at their various stations in Lagos and Abuja on Tuesday. This upward review followed current economic challenges capable of exacerbating the burden of Nigerians grappling with rising cost of living. Since Mr. TINUBU assumed office on May 29, 2023, announcing end of fuel subsidy, petrol price has jumped from 145 naira to over 1,000 naira, worsening cost of living in the country as Nigerians rechristened Mr. TINUBU T-Pain in expression of their economic frustration under his watch. You heard that. And as soon as this new pump price was announced, TINUBU's paid online supporters ran into hiding because they had been talking about the price of petrol will come down. People should not worry. Now they have exhausted all the lies. And the price of petrol keeps rising from time to time. Today, they all ran into hiding after this announcement by the NNPC. But the gullible ones who still hope that TINUBU could turn things around began crying all over social media that do you want to kill us? Won't you pity us? And obedience began mocking the hell out of them. Let's take some of the tweets that followed. Mega Mixer here says, it is called baby steps, the adult steps to follow. He promised nothing and he will deliver nothing. Wow. But Haruna Dahiru here says, Peter Obi could have been a better option in 2023. I believe this is one of the idiots who voted for the APC. Oh, now you know. And Jay here says, good news. Na T-Pain go kill una. And Son of the South here says, Nigeria deserves it and more increase will follow before January. The people that protested against Goodluck Ebele Jonathan government in Ojota and across northern Nigeria for TINUBU and Buhari master plan deserve this TINUBU regime. Until we enter streets, no solution in sight. Keep waiting for 2027. That is it. Son of Ayo here was mocking those TINUBU supporters who said they were going to teach Peter Obi a lesson at the polls. He wrote, he said TINUBU won't buy Obi with lessons. By the time he is done, Peter Obi will be trekking to some of those his functions. What a great lesson to Peter Obi. Son of Ayo is trying to say here that Peter Obi is a multi-billionaire. He doesn't need Nigeria. It is Nigeria that needs him. So you, a poor man who is supporting APC, now they are increasing price of petrol every AK market day. So who is suffering now? Isn't it you who said you were going to teach Peter Obi a lesson? Are you not the one suffering now? And Ben Samuel here says, Shetima needs a new private jet. Let's pay for it. That is true. That is very true. They need to purchase another private jet, for Shetima. So they need this increase as early as possible. And Omega says, Lord have mercy. This is totally wrong. There is serious hunger in the land. Wake up, Nigerians. That is the only solution. If Nigerians can wake up to the reality, if they can face the facts, to know what these guys are trying to do, they are trying to reduce Nigerians to the worst of existence. Already, many families are even struggling with 1 meal per day already. As I speak to you, a cup of groundnut oil in this country is 800 naira. 800. A cup of groundnut oil that you can't do anything with. Every single food item has experienced 300 to 400% increase in price. And these guys, they still have the effrontery to increase the price of petrol. Just give it 2-3 days, or let's say maximum 1 week. I'll tell you the impact of this present increase in the price of petrol on every commodity in the market. We are going to mark the prices of those commodities today and what they will become 7 days from now. That is how powerful petrol is in this country. Anybody who is increasing the price of petrol anyhow is on a mission to completely exterminate the people. There's nothing anybody can tell me. But I'm not surprised. This is the APC. This is what they have come to do, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us, to get out of this quagmire, for us to even think of having a country at all in the near future, we must come together, cast our sentiments aside, and kick the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. Where una go like? Why? Because of na I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.